Previously on the Boys Lunch Table Podcast.
All right, Stomp Cop is here. I'm the judge. Y'all in court, okay? Today's a special episode. All right, it's a debate episode. All right, we're gonna be debating. We have teams of two, and y'all come out with their own character, bring in the facts, and then it's a fight to the death. Winner takes all. A straight fight to the death. I truly believe the werewolf will win. All right, quiet down. Quiet. You want to go to the cell again? I believe Paul would win. For last and final round, we have Toothless from How to Train a Dragon and Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. The teams are Daniel and Alec versus Kenny and Cynric.
Oh,
Winners versus the
No,
losers.
actually,
And
sorry,
by
sorry.
winners, I mean me and
Daniel
Daniel.
and Alec, you guys could bring out your your arguments. Display your character.
oh, we're bringing out our arguments.
Mm-hmm. Or what you
Okay,
can do.
so we're taking
sorry,
team.
sorry. I apologize. Let me first lay out the stage.
Yeah, okay.
It's an abandoned cityscape. All right, all humans are gone. No electricity, no power. There are abandoned cars, no gasoline. Just an abandoned city. Skyscrapers, buildings of various sizes. It's irrelevant, but you get the point.
Yeah.
You get
Okay,
the-
so we're taking team Toothless. Now, Toothless is the last Night Fury of his kind, right? They were hunted to extinction, but he is the alpha. He is the absolute strongest of all the dragons now. He's been shown to be able to take on the towering behemoth that is the Bewilder Beast when entering his alpha mode. So let me just tell you a few things about Toothless. He's able to shoot off energy blasts, which are superheated plasma. And when doing this, it shoots out at very, very intense speeds and is able to do explosive damage on impact. So it's not just fire blast, it's explosive blast. He is also able to fly 0.5 kilometer per second. And unlike Baymax from the last argument, Toothless is able to maneuver very quickly and agilely in the air. Obviously not at that top speed, but he's able to make quick changes in the air much more agilely than like as some kind of plane or something. Alternatively, even if you don't want him to be agile and stuff, he's physically strong enough to lift a monstrous nightmare, which is 5,000 pounds or more. And he's able to call upon lightning to make himself invisible to the naked eye, which he can use as stealth. And that is my opening arguments.
And lightning, can it summon that weather?
Yeah, he can summon it.
I have a quick question. What is this alpha mode?
Alpha mode is when he's in dire straits or needs to protect somebody that he cares about a lot. He's able to. It's basically like, you know, when a mother lifts a car off of her child. She's able to get like a lot of strength in a small amount of time. His attacks are powered up to the max. He's a lot more aggressive. That doesn't mean that he loses himself, but he has a lot more explosive blast and he's a lot more intimidating.
Okay.
Kind of like, it's almost kind of like, think of it like as an adrenaline shot. Like he's kind of like maxed up.
Stitch can lift up to 3,000 times his own size.
Yep.
Which is more than enough to throw Toothless around.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
Kenny's waiting for approval.
He has dense body tissue. He is fireproof, bulletproof, and shockproof, and he has hypercognition, which means he can predict even the quickest of movements.
Oh, and he has electromagnetic vision.
Plus wall crawling and enhanced speed.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's easily matched by Toothless.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay,
All right, well,
so what? Oh, sorry, Alec. Go ahead. Take it.
Okay, then go ahead.
Go ahead. All good.
I was just gonna say, fireproof, maybe. Plasma proof, no. He's been shown in the series.
He's been shown to throw back plasma bolts.
Kenny, he's able to throw back. What's his name? Jumba's plasma blast. If you've watched the show, you've seen Splody Head, which is one of the other cousins, which has a much slower blast than Toothless, was far unable to deter Stitch. Also, Yin and Yang, which is fire and lava users, were also able to fight him off. So they're not hard and fast rules for what Jumba says during the opening scene.
For fire, you forgot to mention that when in the show he literally drives a tanker truck full of gasoline into a volcano and
Yeah,
barely
yeah.
gets singed from it.
But you forget about 10 seconds before, Gantu directs both beams on both of the engines on his ship, the burners at the back, and it knocks him out for about a minute. So he's not fireproof. He survived, but he got knocked out for a minute, which is easy to
He
capitalize on.
survived, did he not?
Also, I'd like to point out also the fact that Toothless can send out a supersonic blast coupled with his plasma. One of Stitch's weaknesses actually is sonic blast. As part of his hearing, Stitch's greatest weakness is his inability and super sensitivity to hearing, and which can lead to temporary deafness when exposed to sonic blast. So the way what would happen was Toothless would fire a blast, maybe not even at. So if you're saying that Stitch is immune to fire, sure, okay, why not? But the fact that what if Toothless's aim is not towards hitting Stitch that way, he could send out a blast, cause Stitch to lose hearing temporarily, and then strike when he's undetectable right at Stitch.
He would still be detectable through his sight.
Yeah, but he has to see him.
Yeah, yes, and plus sight.
Yes.
All Toothless has to do is go into his undetectable invisible phase, and then
Plus-
he has.
Yeah, sorry.
So I was just gonna say, so at that point, Stitch would have no hearing and no sight for a few minutes, if not for longer than that.
And we're in a city, which is very easy for Toothless to hide in and between buildings. And Stitch, while he has some enhanced speed, if you've watched all of the Lilo and Stitch media, you'll know that his speed is not anywhere near 500 meters per second.
How do you prioritize doing damage? When do you initiate the fight with the
Because we're able to fly above you, even if we're not flying at top speed.
I
We
know,
can
but
hover.
how
You
do you
have
attack us?
absolutely no way to touch us as we fire down at you.
How do you
We
attack us?
climb a building and jump onto you guys.
Yeah, and we fly 10 feet higher than that jump distance. Easy.
But mid jump, we would just fly up, and then when you're falling down, come down and strike you, or even blast you. Also, it's been shown in the movies that Toothless has been able to blind, not with light, but as far as hide himself in his own smoke. So all
Yeah, but we already have the sight, the electromagnetic vision. We have X-ray, infrared, night vision.
that's
Yeah,
not going
well-
to help you from defending yourself from a dragon going like almost the speed of light towards you.
But no, you said for cloaking in smoke.
No,
Okay,
well,
so what is Stitch going to do? How are you going to
Well,
do damage when we're well above you? Throw things?
Yeah, throw cars.
Great, we'll dodge all of them. We'll blast any of them.
Also, Toothless, what he could do is grab hold of Stitch, lift him in the air, drop him, and with Stitch not being able to climb onto anything, Toothless has the advantage of maneuvering in the air. So all he's got to do is keep whacking him around in the air and launch him into a building.
All we do is turn into the ball mode, and you're just playing volleyball.
But that's also considering the fact. That's also not considering the fact that we can do if you grab us, you can either get affected by the venomous spikes on our back when we're in alien mode, or we can also grab you and counter you and throw you into the ground.
Wait, when?
Because we're way stronger than you guys.
At
like
no
to-
point
I'd
has
like
to-
Stitch ever been shown to use the venom. Not anywhere in the series.
Yeah, but yet he does have the power.
Yeah,
Still,
but
he still
it's
has
not
the
like you
power.
can shoot it at us or stab us. If we're holding you away from us, it's like half a foot long, the spines.
He has the
Also,
power.
I'd like to match. I'd also like to match Stitch's power. You guys keep talking about how strong he is, but Toothless has bested far larger dragons, including the Red Death and Drago's Bewilderbeast, as Daniel mentioned, in combat, adding to his physical prowess. So,
How do you-
and,
how-
and
Do not know if they can lift more than Stitch, though.
No, wait,
No, he can-
there's
hear
no
me
way
out,
he
hear me out.
can.
He's also strong enough to carry a monstrous nightmare. You guys ever see the movie of where that giant white dragon that like be able to so it's pretty equivalent to Stitch. So there's and probably even more. So there's no way of getting around that.
Wait, I have a question. There's Toothless. How did he beat the Drago's Bewilderbeast?
He enters alpha mode and he blasts it over and over again.
He has a whole bunch of other dragons blasted as well. It's not just him.
He's okay. How about this? I've actually done some calculations on Stitch. Lilo, a 9-year-old girl, is able to lift Stitch, who is supposed to be super dense, but she's still able to lift him, meaning his weight is around 50 pounds. 3,000 times his own weight is still not as big as a bewilderbeast. And Toothless was able to fend it off, even if he didn't kill it. He fended it off, and
Okay.
Stitch is the same deal.
Okay, but did Toothless pick up the bewilderbeast?
No, but what is Stitch's strength
the
means
whole argument
nothing
started
when
with
he can't
Alec
hit us.
mentioning that Toothless would pick up Stitch.
I'm saying,
but all I said is that he could easily counter
I'm
that.
saying that
which he can.
Stitch's might, his power, is matched, if not beaten, by a bewilderbeast. And Toothless has been shown to fend off the bewilderbeast and beat it. He did this through his plasma blast, which Stitch is affected by, as shown by Splody Head and Yin and Yang. So he's able to stay at a distance, blast him till Stitch is knocked out, pull him up into orbit, and then it's done.
You assume that You're assuming that Toothless still needs air as well.
Oh, sorry. Can I say something? I'd like to counter Cynic's argument.
No.
Cynic, you keep saying how how we would strike a hit against you. Well, here's the thing. One of Stitch's known weaknesses, is something called mucus drain. So here's the biology of Stitch. Stitch is 62.7% mucus, which is similar in composition to snootunium. If this is drained from his body, he will become temporarily exhausted from dehydration. All he's got to do, Toothless, is go on and bite Stitch at a certain point, thus draining him of this mucus.
That's not taking into consideration his dense skin.
We've already shown that Lilo's able to lift Stitch, meaning that his density is not nearly as high as you're leading us to believe.
Also, the fact that Toothless is the strongest known dragon, I'm sure his bite force can take on that of a small alien
easily.
We have not. No, that is an opinion.
Bold claim.
Toothless has not fought an alien.
No, we've seen him fight people stronger and win.
It's strength. Stitch has been taking. If you watch the show, like Daniel said, Stitch has been taking damage of things far lesser powerful than Toothless. It's just natural physics that if Toothless, a dragon twice the size of Stitch, bites him,
Toothless also got one of his wings knocked off by a net.
Obviously, Toothless can bite through his skin, thus draining him of his mucus.
Yeah, but how can you do that to bulletproof skin?
We already told you that Stitch isn't impervious to plasma blast, which is our main mode of attack. And let me tell you,
although he gets hit, he does not cut.
So you're assuming his teeth are stronger than that?
Yeah,
they are.
You're assuming his bite force.
You also think that the net cut off half of Toothless's tail. Assuming Stitch is a lot stronger than a net.
Toothless plummeted to Earth and survived without a scratch.
What do you mean without a scratch? He missed half his tail.
That was from the hit of the initial thing.
So you guys keep talking
about we're assuming Stitch is a lot stronger than that, enough to rip off his tail and wings.
What's he gonna do? Jump?
Okay, so what would Stitch survive the spaceship crash, and he fell thousands of several feet?
Now let me tell you a fact. Stitch has lost to many of his cousins, many of which were very, very big, and he should have been able to outmuscle, like Sprout, Experiment 509. And you know what he had to do? He had to put him away, lock him away. He didn't win. He just put him up.
That's because he didn't have bloodlust. We're assuming that he has bloodlust now.
You mean that a giant experiment destroying and trying to kill a lot of people, he was unwilling to beat it? That's hard to believe.
Also, can I point out? I'd like to counter, actually prove Kenny and Cynic just wrong right here. In the movie, Stitch crash lands the ship on the mountain, and Lilo manages to get him into fusion chamber, which he's dying at that point. You ever seen the movie? And his last words was "Stitch, sorry." So
yeah,
plummeting to Earth. Compared to what Toothless can do, Stitch has no chance.
That's Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch is a glitch, by the way.
Stitch is a glitch, that's it. Also, I want to know, we've been talking about how Toothless would, fight off Stitch, but how do you guys plan to take out a dragon literally going the speed of, sonic speed?
Yeah, how are you even going to attack us if we're up above the buildings? We could fly far higher than the buildings. You're just going to throw stuff.
Assuming you need air. I'm assuming you need air.
Kenny, the atmosphere is not that low. Higher than Stitch could jump off of a building is still well within an area for me to breathe.
Okay, so how wide are these blasts that you're talking about? How wide can they be?
What do you mean? How wide
You guys
can they
know?
be?
These sonic blasts you're talking about. What's the area?
Have you seen the movies?
They can take the.
I'm not. That's why I'm asking the question.
Dude, they're precision strikes. They can hit Stitch from like miles away with his eyes closed.
It's also been shown that they're able to take out entire buildings the size of a tower. So Stitch, even if he's on a building, we just blast it down and you can't reach us.
Those are old wooden structures.
Not after they dragon-proof the town, Kenny, in the second and third movie.
I don't know if dragon scales are as strong as steel.
That's very true. Kenny is
Okay,
right.
but here's the thing:
we don't know what they did to those buildings.
Like, we don't know the tensile strength of dragon scales compared to steel.
The thing is, though, it's steel and concrete is a lot easier to break. You know?
Also, compared to Stitch's skin, I'm sure if Toothless can take out an entire town with one plasma blast, I'm sure he could do some damage to Stitch with that one.
It's also been shown in this show that Toothless is able to echolocate like a bat, meaning that we can predict Stitch's we can tell Stitch's movements even if he isn't in sight, and we're a lot more accurate. You could research it, it's true.
Yes, but you if we're behind a building, your echo would bounce off the building.
That's not how echolocation works. Sure, the building bounces back, but the rest of the sound is going to bounce off the other buildings and still give us an accurate read.
Also, it's also said that so I know I keep kind of going back to this point, but also it's said that Stitch can be briefly stunned by a fall of only several thousands of feet. So if Stitch falls, he might not die, but he definitely will be like incapacitated for a bit.
Plus, all we need to do is drop you into a pool because Stitch can't swim.
By Judge thing, there's no water.
Sorry?
I said by Judge's ruling, there is no water.
There's no pool in a town of buildings? Not a single one?
No, there's no pools.
Damn. Okay, well,
that's also considering that you guys can pick us up by not getting countered.
Sure we
just told you how we do it. We either yell at you, which you're super vulnerable to, or we shoot you. One of the two. We can do both, actually, if you want.
Also,
Well, I can see that they're not that. We could probably launch ourselves away from the blast.
Away from the blast?
Well, chances if we have that much strength, we can just easily propel ourselves to like another building.
You need to show me an example of yourself.
To do in a kids show.
It's not because
unfortunately we're using stats.
It would have no way means that he's able to jump with the same thing or run as fast. He says lift that much.
He has 4 arms that he uses to jump.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can propel yourself.
Find me one example.
Yeah, well,
if you find me one example of him doing that, then
point out that Stitch is more.
What was it? Toothless. So hear me out. Toothless,
and he's also gotten dumb. It's also been
second to none, and he is creative and strategic, which
it's not in this fight.
If I remember, girl to help him, Lilo and Stitch, the team.
Also,
we have one equivalent.
Can I make a point
nowhere does it say Stitch Toothless's mind is equivalent to a human.
Let me think about this one. Yeah.
Kalichi, no matter what you choose, we all love you, Kalichi.
Yeah.
I
will admit your knowledge was hard to compete with, Daniel.
Toothless. I honestly thought it would go to Stitch because I didn't think Toothless had enough firepower to actually damage Stitch with his fireproof and his shockproof, whatever. But you start talking about his plasma and how it does more damage. How it'll. You literally said that Stitch got hit by some next rocket blasters, and I got down for a minute.
It's just because they need to fill 30-minute TV shows. It's fine.
No, that was in the first movie.
Yeah, I know.
So I didn't know about that, but Toothless gets the win.
Let's go, Alex.
Let's win.
Let's go. I win with 1 tonight.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like Kenny's strategy of we grab Toothless and we just club him.
Bro, I was actually getting worried, man. Like at a certain point, like me and Daniel, I feel like started off strong, and then I feel like Kenny kept bringing up.
Really,
mistakes and-
I didn't think we had that at one point.
At the end of the episode, Daniel seemed to have run a clean sweep of 3-0
Let's go.
with no loss. But we'll see next time if someone can topple the legend. But
Yes.
the winner goes to Daniel, and the trophy of TLT debate #1 goes to Daniel. Round of
Thank you.
applause.
Thank you.
Round of
Daniel,
applause.
congrats, Daniel.
Let's go.